This chapter is on time value of money. Why does money have a time value? Money has a time value because the funds received today can be invested to reach a greater value in the future. To understand this better, let's look at an example of a person who would rather receive $1 today than $1 in 10 years. Because a dollar received today and invested at a certain rate of interest, which is, for example, 6%, will be worth $1.79 after 10 years. $1.79 after 10 years is more than $1 in 10 years. This explains why the person would rather receive $1 today and invest it to receive 6% because it will be worth much more than $1 in 10 years. How is the future value related to the present value of a single sum? The future value represents the expected worth of a single amount, whereas the present value represents the current worth. That's the difference between the future value and the present value. To calculate the present value and the future value of a single sum, the formula that you will use is future value is equal to the present value multiplied with 1 plus I to the power n, where I represents the interest rate and n is the number of years. And present value is equal to future value over 1 plus I to the power n. To understand the calculations of future value and present value, there are some examples which you have been given. So let's take a look at this example on future value of money. You invest $2,500 a year for 3 years at 8%, which means you will invest 2,500 every year for 3 years at a 8% rate of interest. Then the A part of the question is, what is the value of your investment after 1 year? And B says, what is the value of your investment after 2 years? And C says, what is the value of your investment after 3 years? To solve this example, what you will do is you will first we go to the A part of the question, which is calculate the value of investment after 1 year. You will write down the formula first, which is future value is equal to present value multiplied with 1 plus the interest rate to the power n. For the present value, you will substitute the present value with the amount of investment, which is $2,500, and multiplied with 1 plus the interest rate. The interest rate in the question is 8%. Now 8% is 0.08. So it will be, and to the power n. N is the number of years, which in A part of the question is 1 year. Therefore, $2,500 into 1 plus 0.08 is 1.08 to the power 1 is 1.08 itself, and this will give you $2,700. Thus, the value of the investment of 2,500 after 1 year will be $2,700. Now let's come to the B part of the question, which is the value of this investment after 2 years. Again, you begin with substituting the present value with $2,500 into 1 plus 0.08 to the power n in this question will be 2 years. As you can see in the B part of the question, the number of years is 2 years. And what you can do is you can either solve the B part of the question in this manner, or the easier way to solve this is you will multiply your answer to part A by 1.08. Now, your answer to part A is 2,700. So what you will do is you will multiply the answer 2,700 into 1.08, which will give you $2,916. So the value of the investment after 2 years is $2,916. And then you can, in the similar way, you will answer the C part of the question, that is the value of your investment after 3 years. Now you can multiply your answer to part B, which is $2,916, with 1.08, which is equal to $3,149.28. Alternatively, you could answer this question by going to Appendix A, which is the future value table, where you will get the future value of $1. So what you can do is you can see the Appendix A here to the right hand side. This is a table which gives you the future value of $1, from where you can get the tabular value to solve this question. So what you can do is go to Appendix A and look up the future value for n is equal to 3. That is because the single amount has been invested for 3 years. So you will look for n is equal to 3 and I, which is interest, is equal to 8%. Let's look into the table for 8%, which is here, and 3 years. So 1, 2, 3. This is the tabular value, which you can see here as is 1.260. You can then multiply this tabular value by $2,500, which is the amount invested by you, and compare your answer in part C. To do your question in this manner, you need to use this formula, which is future value is equal to present value into the future value interest factor, that is IF. This is the formula which you will use when you are using the table to answer this question on future value. The present value is 2,500, and the future value interest factor, that is a tabular value, is 1.260, and your answer would be $3,150, which is the future value of the investment after 3 years. And you can now compare your answer to your answer in part C, which is $3,149.28. You can see that the answer is almost similar. The slight difference which you will find between the two amounts is due to the rounding off. Next, we look at an example on calculating the present value of a single sum. Let's take a look at this example. What is the present value of $8,000 in 10 years at 6%? Now, to answer this question, you will look into the present value table, which is the Appendix B. This is the Appendix B, which you can see on the right hand side of your screen. And the formula that you will use is present value is equal to future value multiplied with the present value interest factor multiplied with the present value interest factor at 6% interest rate for 10 periods, because the number of years is 10 and the interest rate is 6%. You will look for the interest rate 6% and 10 periods. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the tabular value for 10 years is 0.558. This value you will use for the present value interest factor multiplied with the 8,000, which is the future value which you get from the future value which you will get from the question. and that is equal to $4,464. Thus, the present value of 8,000 in 10 years at 6% interest is $4,464. Based on the examples done above, uh, let's do this exercise on present value of money, where you use the concept which has been explained to you through the examples done before. This question is on the present value of a single sum. What is the present value of $100,000 to be received after 40 years with an 18% discount rate? You will use the appendix B for this question, which has been showed to you. The formula that you will use is present value is equal to future value multiplied with the present value interest factor for 18%, because the question says that the rate of interest is 18%, and for 40 periods, because the amount is to be received after 40 years. The tabular value which you get from the appendix B is 0.001, which is for 18% and for 40 years. You will multiply this with the future value, which is $100,000, and your answer is $100. Thus the present value of $100,000 after 40 years at 18% interest is $100. The B part of the question says, would the present value of the funds in part A be enough to buy a $125 concert ticket? To answer this question, what you will do is compare the present value which you got in part A, which is $100, with the ticket amount of $125, which is in question B, which is the amount of the concert ticket. Compare $100 present value with the ticket amount of $125. And you will notice that since the present value is less than the ticket amount, that is $100, which is less than 125, it is not enough to buy the ticket. Thus, your answer is no, because you only have $100 in present value. These are the kind of exercises that you will be doing in the class based on the exercises and the examples done in this video. To demonstrate whether you have actually gone through the video and you have understood the examples given in therein, you will be doing these class exercises in your when you come to the class, and you will get 5 points to answer these questions. And if you have any doubts or you have any queries, you can ask, or you can mail me. Thank you.